We bring greetings of peace, of love, and of blessings unto each of you. This is the Queen Mother Kradin, and I am here to give you the weekly address to let you know some of the projects that we have been working on and some of the things that we have been busy with during the week. This has been a very busy week for us, and there is some of the projects that we are working on that we don't have the ability to report publicly at this time because they are yet um, in the process of getting things done and taken care of. So, with that said, we would like to report some information on the key series, some new information. Some of the packages that were sent to parts of Africa, I believe it was Zimbabwe. Uh, those some of those packages um, had returned back to uh, the location where they were shipped, and the package was damaged, and the packages was opened. Now we knew that it would take 30 to 15 days um, to get there when we shipped it. We also anticipated having some problems, but we did not anticipate the items being opened and damaged to the extent that they was. Even though the packages was insured, we are in the process at this moment to discuss and to debate um, if it's even worth the effort to do the claim on them or not, which of course I don't make that decision. Um, we are also in the process with our president of the Key Series and our director to find out exactly what it is that they want us to do concerning the package. Um, we are trying to see if it's possible to have certain monetary um, sent to the different areas of Africa and then see if we could get a supplier there um, that can get the goods to the villages. So these are things that we are working on. We're waiting to hear from our president, Key Series, and our director, Lady B, to see exactly what it is that we will be doing um, concerning this issue because we're not quite sure if we are going to which way we are going to take it. But we know that something new has to be done. Um, Also, the things that we've been working on when it comes to domestic violence, we have made a lot of headway. As you all know, um, we have a different program for victims of abuse and victims of domestic violence. So therefore, all of the information we have, we are not at liberty to report to them. Whenever you work with victims of domestic violence, it is a very difficult procedures that take place, even legally. So therefore, we're not at liberty to just give all the information, but the information that we can report concerning some of the projects that we worked on with domestic violence is that we have made headway in the way of bargaining um, to get many of the shelters open. As many of you may know, we do have shelters that is open up in different countries and in different areas. And we have to run those shelters according to the governing body, laws, rules, and regulations of that particular community, country, or territory, or provision that we are in at that time. So we have been blessed to be able to go into areas where it was not even legal to have shelters for women and children that's been abused. We have been very blessed to go into those areas and work with the community and with the governing body and to open up shelters um, in those areas, which is a great victory. And we are thankful to all of those. So many work with me on this, and I am so very thankful um, for their dedication. Um, one of my most strongest supporter in this has been Mrs. Sarah Joy. My assistant has been absolutely wonderful, and seeing this through by really not only helping uh, on the projects of abuse, but she also has helped me to stay focused. And I do so much work. I don't think a lot of people understand that I have people around me that help me to stay focused in what it is I am doing. Also, we like to report that some of the shelters that we have concerning victims of domestic violence, we did have a fire at one of them, and this was going towards the last part of 2013. We are very blessed to report that that has been handled and taken care of. And everyone was wonderful with working on me with that to understand that it is so important to get these shelters built and open. And I would like to say this um, for people who work with victims of domestic violence and abuse, they have a clear understanding of a lot of things, especially when you have done it for so long. And I'm always put in a position where ask the public to please try to reach out and understand the suffering of others. Uh, some people have never ever faced certain kinds of abuse. When you say domestic abuse, you're not just talking about, you're not just speaking about abuse between a man and a woman, a boyfriend, a girlfriend, or a husband or a wife, but you're speaking of any kind of abuse. Because I've heard many people say that they have not been a victim of abuse, but many times children have been abused as a child by one parent or beat by one parent, and they are suffering from those wounds, and they don't understand that they have once been a victim of abuse in their lives. With that being said, I implore each of you to not only get involved but to care and to try to understand that those of us that work with these victims of abuse, we have a very difficult job. We're in a difficult position here. So we need the prayers of each of you. That is so greatly appreciated. Um, with these shelters that are open and the great headway that we are made, I am so happy to say that in 2010 we reached our goal. Uh, in 2010, we kind of changed things around and we had set out some new goals that we wanted to reach when it comes to working with victims of abuse. We had already been doing it before 2010, but in 2010, we kind of changed the agenda a little bit and we made things a little different than what they was because we did that because we thought we could better serve and help the peoples. In doing so, in 2010, we had set a goal on the shelters that we already have financed to open, that we wanted many of those shelters to be built or to be opened by a certain time and 2010, and I'm so happy that we reached that goal. 2011, we was about 6 months behind on the things that we had pledged and the things that we had promised to do in 2011. But the early part of 2012, we caught up, and we have been caught up ever since then. So this is 2014. Going into the beginning of 2014, we went into 2014 completely caught up on the work that we wanted to do with the victims of abuse and domestic violence. And I'm so thankful for that because when I came into 2014, I came in with a lot on my back and a lot on my shoulders. So therefore, I was grateful that I was capable of getting those things done. And many of you had worked with me on that. I am so very grateful for the Board of Elders of the Bethany Israel Foundation because they have been with us since 1996. And they have really been very instrumental and making sure that Queen Mother could keep things on the track. So, like I said, when we got off in 2011 and we was a little behind on things, when 2012, the first part of 2012 came in, we had completely caught up. And we are so thankful for that. That is important. And also, we ask each of you to please to keep us in your prayers because this is a work that we are doing out of the love of our hearts. We really believe that we was put on this earth to do this and to accomplish this work. And many do not know that the meaning of Hesam means doer of good. And this is what we all should do. We should care for each other. We should love each other. Regardless to many of us have different points of views on things, but we should still say, no matter what my religion belief is, I could yet show love. I could yet show kindness. So we appreciate your patience on the DNA data program. We are at least 2 or 3 months behind on that. So we had, I think we only have 4 peoples that are waiting to receive their kits, and that is it. But the DNA database, I want to explain this right quick, if I may. We get behind on that be simply because we don't do this ourselves. We work with a pool of money, and I'm going to give you a small example of the way that it works. If we have $25,000, this is an example. If we have $25,000 every 3 months that comes in for the DNA data program, once we have exhausted and spent that money, then what we normally do, if a good example would be if we are working on it on January, February, and March, and if that $25,000 is spent on DNA testing for January, February, and March, when March rolled around, the money is out for that. So we have a 8-week waiting period before the other money comes in for the other testing. So between those 8 weeks, we are gathering the applications. We are making sure they're notarized. We are also checking out the applications. What I mean by checking them out is sometimes we have to test and see if the person has been tested beforehand. If they have, we contact them and let them know they have already been in the database. So we don't turn them down, but we just go another way. So in the period of that 8-week waiting period, we are yet working on your application. So when the 8 weeks is up, then the checks and the money is clear to move along to the other DNA data testing. So once we move on to that, then we cut through for April, May, and June. So out of those, the 4 that is waiting for your testing, the 3rd of April is when the everything clears, and then we send those out. So for those of you that are getting your test in April, keep in mind for those of you that are getting your test, and for those of you that are waiting to receive your test, the one that was waiting that did their application the last of 2013. Those are the ones that will get their kids in the early part of April of 2014. But those of you that just done your application, we have a fresh bunch of application that came in. Um, I believe it came in yesterday. So those of you that's the fresh batch is going to be April, May, June. It's going to be June, and then your money will be sent for your testing. So that is how we have done the system, and that keep us focused, and it keep us um, from having the list being very high, because I've seen the time when we was behind thousands of people, and since we have been doing it this way, that has not happened. So we appreciate your patience, each of you. We appreciate how you have understood that this is not an easy work, working with the DNA. This is not easy, so I hope that I've explained it. If I have not, or you are free to ask your questions, and we would answer them uh, to the very best of our knowledge. So we're pretty much um, a little behind, but we're pretty much caught up. Come the first part of April, we will be totally caught up. And then we will begin to work on the kids that is going to be due in June of 2014. So that concludes the weekly address. We thank you for your time and your patience, and you can continue to send in your questions, as so many have, and we will continue to answer them. Blessings to each of you. Love and peace apply. Blessings.